let's start. Hi.
So I did not prepare. So from last week, I saw there was a couple of Zulip threads, but not a lot of activity this week. So yeah, maybe get a status check on where we're at
Yeah,
with the
that's
spec.
good news that for our test reporting, so the 8box team did something and the John with the puzzling did something. Now we have the screen with implementation and we see some check marks in the green. So that's good. So we're waiting for you, Ryan.
I think Bashir is working. I will be working down that path a bit, so I don't have an update there, but yeah.
Just question on that, Ryan. Will Bashir have a different implementation than the implementation that your team is working on? That's what I've been. But
yeah. So my team isn't currently working on any implementation. I think Bashir is part of Google that is working on some open source healthcare capabilities that would benefit from this. And so as part of his effort, he's kind of building out that sort of thing. It's likely. Some of these capabilities may become like more directly available in other in the future with Google. Some of the actual Google capabilities themselves. But for now, I think we're kind of focused on one. I'm involved in trying to work in the definition of it, and I think Bashir is involved in the open source implementation. But yeah, we don't have like another active effort for another implementation. So I would love like having like some future state of having this sort of natively supported, but it's not something that is imminent.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because just clarify that relationship. And yeah, I think any work that is done, through our industrial relationships and things like that. So, more to come on that, but that's, from our end at NCQA, working with a wide variety of, both vendors and payers and other organizations, health plans, EHR vendors. One of the things that I'm looking at is, thinking about that matrix or those sort of pairs of relationships, as we think about what we want to do in this space, just, knowing who works with who and setting up that conversation is something that we're interested in doing. So yeah, that's something that, we would love to promote public way as well, but also, in a product sense.
Yeah, sounds good. And then, I think that, for the time being, I think that everything that we'll have that's public will be via the open health stack efforts. And so that Bashir is, the engineer that's working in that space right now. And I think that absolutely makes sense to kind of promote that. One of the goals there is like we wanted to do some things to provide some health data infrastructure that could work in a lot of settings, not just in GCP. And so I think that's one of Bashir's efforts. And part of that project has like a data transformation pipeline. So he's working to incorporate the specification into that data transformation pipeline as a step there. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going on now. And beyond that, if other things pop up with like more sort of natively built-in capabilities for these sorts of things, then we'll follow up from there. But I don't. But yeah, for now, like I don't have any updates on that particular topic right now.
Okay.
Just to illustrate, and I can quickly share the screen. So we see this ref implementation, and we see 8box, and I think it should jump to the implementation. Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, really nice.
Another good news that we almost decided like backport our Postgres implementation to and resurrect Firebase, our open source Postgres solution. So yeah, so we will have like open source Postgres Fire implementation quite soon. Probably NCQA will sponsor.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves there. So
I said probably.
All right. Anything else on, the status of implementations and testing at a smaller group today?
Yeah, I have some of the spec stuff. I put together like a pull. Actually, I went ahead and merged the pull request of starting to create 4 view definitions that have needs. So I kind of took a very minimal pass, just like I think that will build upon of a shareable view definition. Really, the only changes as different from the base is like things like a FHIR version and the URL and the name are all required, and the column type are all required fields now, as opposed to being optional as they are in the base view definition logical model, and kind of create that structure there. So yeah, you can see it up on the site. Actually, I could probably just share this page here.
Right.
Yeah. So I could add that very, very easily to this. And so maybe I'll go ahead and add that, because I think that might get us to like a possible, sort of good enough list for our initial release. So there's something that's shareable and it's tabular. And of course, the view definition can be both shareable and tabular by using sort of the FHIR profile mechanism. I also wanted to add some like examples, because like right now, the existing examples that we have, they don't implement like the the profile, I wanted to kind of share an example of a one that does. Yeah, so I have a little follow-up to do in that space, but kind of wanted to share this very rough, or this very minimal, this structure, and to see if it made sense to folks. And if it does, then yeah, I can flesh it out a bit more.
I think did we call it, wasn't tabular, it was like scalar only, maybe tabular. Anyway, we had a term for it.
Right, yeah, I think we were trying to sort out I think, yeah, I don't know if we landed on a final term for it or not, but yeah, I think it's the same spirit of it. So when I say, yeah, tabular, it means just every item produced by the view definition is a non-repeated scalar value. Yeah, so something so basically we could call it like CSV mode, because it's something that could directly map to like a CSV in addition to like many other tabular data structures.
Is a compelling name, but we might have to make it a little more official. Okay, cool. That sounds great. I think that's a good next step as a to-do. I'll mark that down. And then examples. Yeah. Pretty simple examples, profile use.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, cool. Anything else on the spec? I think it's definitely taking shape. So I'm trying to think if there are any outstanding items. Go look at the old to-dos here. Oh yeah, I really dropped the ball. Yeah, we wanted to get the dates, but before we talk about that, back edits, I think that's it. Right.
Yeah. So there's always like a bunch of little sort of refinements and that sort of thing to be made. I didn't have any other I think major sort of structural changes on my mental list. So
yeah, that's the only one. I'm just looking at the previous meeting notes. That was the only one that's current. So yeah, I think it's just refinement. People want to take a crack at looking at it and refining various sections in my book. Anything from your end, Nikolai?
Not so much. So I think, so the guys in Australia, they have connected on these 3 days, as I know. So that's why probably Miss John and Graham. We started thinking about like a UI designer for view definitions. So probably contributed as well.
Interesting.
Mostly announces, yes. Nothing specific in box here.
Oh, that's cool. That would be interesting. Yeah, I could see that being a visual designer. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing that in the future. There's a lot of structure you can use, right, from the resource itself. Cool. All right. So I think that's it for the spec updates. Anything? All right. What else do we have? So on the old to-dos list, it says next meeting for a broader discussion of view definition, multiple resources. Probably don't want to go into it without the broader team.
Yeah, we need more people for that.
Yeah. And then on my plate was looking at scheduling. Let's take a look at buried in here now. So I'm looking at the SQL and FHIR one. Still looks like a possibility for folks for OMOP. And then there's another one for Spark. April 3rd, you responded yes for April 3rd, but not a ton of people. I don't think Dan or Josh, he was interested in both of those topics. Or maybe he wasn't interested in Spark as much, but he definitely was interested in OMOP. Let me ping Graham, I know he's a busy guy, and say, would you be good at having OMOP discussion on April 3rd? Nikolai, are you available?
Let me check quickly. I think yes, April 3rd. Yeah.
Okay, and I'll ping Craig. So I'll ping Graham and I'll ping Craig. You guys were having that discussion with some of the OMOP folks. It would be good to talk with the OMOP folks rather than instant among ourselves. So Craig was leading that, but I'll remind him and say, hey, we might have a date for April 3rd that works reasonably well. So, will you be able to go out to the OMOP community and ask them if they could join? How's that sound?
Yeah, not sure about Graham. He's gonna ride through Australia.
9 months.
Like Che Guevara through America, yeah? Hope not by bike.
See, this is the walkabout. Don't you have to walk on the walkabout? It's not.
He said check out the Facebook account. He will publish the journey.
But it's gonna miss a lot of exciting SQL and FHIR meetings, and so feels like a Starlink or something. All right, so that'll be a task for me. I'll reach out to those folks, and we'll just keep that to do about having a discussion about multiple resources. We'll just keep that rolling over. That's all I had.
Let's finish next year.
Yep, that sounds good. I don't see anything else on my.
And maybe guys, Anil, Joel, do you have any questions or suggestions?
Hi folks. Sorry, I've been in the listening mode because I'm new to the FHIR spec and everything. So I was very much interested in looking into the SQL on FHIR. Then I found this group and joining and listening to you guys' conversations. Pretty amazing, like how you guys are shaping up this spec. So I'm learning. Basically, that's pretty much. That's why I'm just in the listening mode, not really participating on any of these conversations, but I'll try to as much as possible.
Yeah, welcome. Help us with the documentation. So if you have any comments, please share with us. Do proofreading for us as a fresh.
I will.
Eyes,
Yes, certainly a fresh set of eyes are welcome, because many of us have kind of lived and breathed this space since it wasn't really even an idea, and I'm certain there are blind spots that we have in terms of the documentation. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions if it's unclear to you, and it's probably unclear to most people, and we want to update the docs so that's no longer the case.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and welcome, Anil. Just a question for you. Who do you work for? What organization?
Oh, I joined OneUp Health recently. So I think, I guess like I joined around 6 to 8 months back, but it's new to the medical domain.
Okay.
I was in Twitter before and then moved to this company. So
You were where before?
I was in
okay.
Twitter 1.0, tasted 2.0 as well. Just moved out and got into this startup company. So
interesting.
I'm with more of a big data background, a lot of data background for the past 8 to 9 years on data, pretty much on Hadoop before, now on the AWS stuff, big data background. Yeah.
They didn't tell you about me?
I heard from Donna. Donna is one, like, she mentioned that you are, I think you are very popular in OneUp already. Because the moment I said about this group, oh, is this something like, because they know about Nikolai and also Arjun, like both of you, like immediately they said like, hey, is that the team that you were talking about? I said, yeah, that's the only place where I can sit and listen to, because it's pure technical, like compared to a lot of other things that people are trying to shape up something on the defense stuff and other specs. But I found this is more interesting because it's pure technical. And I looked at the demos that you guys made, like especially from Pathling and also from you all. And it's pretty interesting, like amazing to see how Spark is shaping up in many ways, and also with the TypeScript stuff, like how we are doing a lot of these things. It's pretty interesting. So I found this group more interesting than other things because it's more technical.
Yeah, well, welcome. I was hanging out with Joe and Kevin and Nolan last week at HIMSS. So Don Rucker. So yes. Hopefully they're saying nice things behind my back. No, we're all good. Cool. Great to have you. And that's what I talked to with Joe and Kevin. I'm like this, and they're very excited about, when this product, when this work matures, starting to apply it. So exciting to have OneUp in the fold. Excuse me. Okay. Well, yep. Anything else?
Everybody.
We're good. See you guys next week. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Thank you.